Hi there, this is Kathy Crow, and I think I've got 2 more weeks here at the Crow apartment. Well, 2 more weeks, yeah. I think we are gonna be, I've got 1 more week here for sure. I'm going to try to get my schedule going again as soon as possible when we've moved. But I don't know how that's going to go. So today might be the last day you see me for a couple of weeks. We'll see. Next week, I know I won't be able to do it. And then the following week, I'm just not so sure either. We'll have a lot of boxes. I just don't know. We'll find out. You try to do as much as you can. I'm coming in a little late today. Actually, I'm like right in the middle of my normal time. My old normal time and the new normal time, I'm in the middle. Kind of got backtracked while I was, or sidetracked. In Washington State, it started early enough in the day that I never left the house, so it was easier. Here, it's happening later in the day, and I'm getting out and getting stuff going. And hi, Jewel, good to see you. And then I don't realize that, shoot, I'm late, so I gotta get back. Today, I'm gonna do something fun, I hope for you and for me too. I'm gonna use this knit together background. Now, I got this because I loved it, of course, when I saw it. I knew it would be really good, but I did some stuff with my stamp pad to get multicolored. My multicolored stamp pads that are Spectrum ones are packed. And normally I play with those when I want a multicolor on a block. And, you know, I tried coloring with my marker, Jewel, and hi Trudy, good to see you too. And it didn't work. I don't know why. I wasn't getting it wet enough, and I didn't have my bigger ones, and I'm just a little limited where I am. So I took it turned out really good. I really loved it. That was that one. Today we are gonna use more of these colors, and I'm gonna use the baby wipe technique. I've never done it before. It looks pretty easy. I don't think I'm gonna have any trouble, and we'll find out. You'll get to see firsthand how it goes when you've never done it before, and that should be fun. I also am going to use, now I did use my Cable Knit dynamic folder. I love this one. I preferred how it turned out when I did that. But I also used the Tasteful Textile one that's available right now in the catalog, and that actually looked really nice too. I don't know that you'll be able to see so much online, but you can sure feel it. It feels good. It looks really good. Hi, Andy. I'm so glad you found me today. I'm sorry I've kind of been time-wise not doing good. Once I get all settled, things will get normal, and then I will be at a regular, reliable time again. But right now, that is not happening. Now I'm going to try putting my camera down. Remember to share. Thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. And remember that we don't have much left of Celebration. Celebration ends September 30, and when that goes away, all those free products go away that you get with every $50 purchase. Now, some things have sold out, I believe, or are very low. There was this bedazzling paper that was a free offering, and that, I'm shocked. They must have got a ton of that, because it might be sold out now. Do you guys know? I don't know if it is or not, but it didn't sell out right away. I thought it would. I got a bunch because I thought for sure that was gonna disappear really super duper fast, and it just didn't. I was surprised. All right, so I'll have to adjust everything here. I'm gonna be so glad when I can get back to a normal setting where everything can be set up and just ready to go for me, because right now it's just not. Today I want to use, this is our Everlasting Evergreen paper. It's really a dark green. It's really pretty. This is, I wanted to do Magenta Madness, but I might have actually pulled out Melon Mambo. This is looking more like a melon one. And this is Calypso, no. This is Calypso Coral. Anyway, I actually in this card have Pumpkin Pie, but I think we're gonna go, for the baby wipe one, we're gonna go more with this. I got out our Joyful Life because I wanted something with a sweater. So you've got your little scarf here, and you've got a sweater on him, because this is definitely sweater weather stuff. It is not sweater weather here. It is really nice out there today. Really nice. So anyhow. All right, so the baby wipe technique. We will need some white cardstock, but I think actually I'm gonna go on vanilla. My vanilla, is that my sparkle paper? Let me look, make sure I've got actual vanilla happening here. Okay, it is vanilla. I pulled it out. Oh no, that's shimmery white, although, yes, there is shimmer on that. I thought it felt different than that. It didn't feel quite right. I rearranged my papers down here a bit. All right, there we go. There is very vanilla. So we want a big one of those. I am just going to get out the big block, I believe, for this rather than the Stamparatus, although I might regret that. It's pretty, but since this is going to just be kind of a hodgepodge. Now you could take, I wouldn't recommend it, but you could take your inks and just put it right on here and rub it around, but I sure wouldn't do that. I think that would be a big mistake. I am going to just use, I put my, these are not actually baby wipes. These are like those little makeup remover things that you get. And I'm just sticking it on my chamois. You know, maybe I want to save my chamois. Let's put you chamois over here. We'll put you here. And now we're gonna go, now this is gonna have to cover a pretty big space. So let's make it a little bit bigger. Oh, this is gonna be really interesting. Oh, bedazzled paper sold out now. I thought so, Andy. As soon as I saw it going on, low inventory, I was sure that was gonna go pretty fast. So I'm not surprised. Hopefully everybody got what they wanted of it, because it is really good paper. Let's pull this one, let's open this one all the way. You want probably one pretty level surface to be inking that up on. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna kind of get an eyeballs view of how much of this area I want to cover. Quite a large bit, isn't it? How many of you guys have done the baby wipe technique? Tell me, because then I'm gonna really feel foolish when I don't do it very well, because you guys will have been such experts. So I've got Magenta Madness. I've got my pumpkin pie out in case I want it. I am gonna use a tiny bit of it. I've got a tiny bit left in this bottle. I actually wanted Calypso Coral, but I must have used all of my Calypso Coral ink. I couldn't find it. I definitely wanted I need some purple in there. And I'm not going to get purple. I couldn't find any of my Blackberry Bliss. My inks are not organized like they normally are either. They're kind of just shoved in a drawer. And yeah, so I'm having a hard time managing here in this apartment. And then Mossy Meadow. I don't have a ton of that left. I don't need a lot. All right. I don't see that anybody is saying that they have done this before. So I'm going to just go for it and we'll see what happens here. Oh boy, I can see I'm going to use a fair amount of ink doing this. All right, that's probably plenty of that. And then we'll get our terracotta tile. We'll fill in a lot with this. This is going to be really interesting. Okay, you guys, it's here in Springfield, it is a very beautiful, warm day today. Very warm. Nice, though. Definitely, they said it's going to be humid, but I didn't feel any out there yet. Maybe later. This is taking a long time, and it is taking a lot of my ink. I am not happy about that. This is a technique I can just tell you right now I will never use again. It's just eating up way too much ink. All right, there's that one. And I'm still not even close. I don't want that much green. So I'm gonna run over here really quick, find my drawers. Let's see if I can find something purpley here. Let's see what we've got. I see some Wisteria Wonder from way back. Let's pull that in. That is not the shade of purple I want, but now this might be a good technique to use up some of your old inks. I didn't think about that. Because they're all going to get kind of mushed together, and I am thinking Wisteria Wonder, you're going to look a lot of blue to me here. Not so much purple like I wanted. And now we'll put the green in. We don't need a lot of that. It's a pretty dark color. Wow, where are you? There you are. Oh, fold the wipe into quarters? I know I am, but you know what, Jewel? I'm doing it because I have to stamp. I'm afraid I won't get a nice even... I did that because this is a giant stamp. I'm doing the background stamp. And so, anyway. Thank you for telling me. Hi, Marty. Good to see you. Are you back in Florida? Oh, you're back in, you're still in Florida. When are you leaving Florida? Been there long. Maybe you're never gonna leave. Maybe you're thinking it's a friendlier state to live in right now, and you'd probably be right. Many of these other ones are. Okay, yes, it is a giant one. You're right, but I've never done it before, and I'm actually going to stamp 2 times. So here's this is the knit together, and that's looking pretty good. I don't know though. Until I put it down, I won't know. Now I am going to take a chance here. Just do it, and then. I think it's going to be random enough. I can re-ink it if it didn't really ink up enough. Yeah, because look at that big blotch right there. I don't want that. And some of this I need to have a little bit better. It's not bad, a little too much green. Little too much green. Okay, I'm going to take my baby wipe. Oh, I see all of my ink all over here. I'm going to take my baby wipe and just put some of my pink on here. So I want more pink. I can see this is, I'm going to have to go wash my hands. It's making way too big of a mess. This is the other thing about every technique I think I've ever gone to do. At the end of the day, when I'm done with it, I think, well, it did accomplish what I wanted, but I think I can accomplish it in a different way. It's a lot less messy and uses up a lot less of whatever supply I had. Does that happen to you too? People who do these techniques, they do it a lot, and then they do a really good video of it, and then they cut the video up too. Ah, that one's perfect. Not going to get any better than that. So excuse me while I go wash my hands and my stamp. And I probably better get my case. Actually, I'd like to save my case. This is a lot of ink. A ton of ink. I guess I'm not going to, because I'm not doing it again. This is it. I'm not doing this again. So I'll just have to sacrifice and wash it all away. But boy, yeah, that was a lot of ink. And so, Jewel, you can tell me if I had folded it up and done what you suggested, I probably could have still accomplished what I just did, huh? Then I would not have had to have used up so much ink either. And that would have been a blessing for me. And my hands wouldn't be quite as inky as they are right now, because, man, they are super duper inky. And I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon here. What kind of solvent do I use to get this much ink out of my hands? My goodness, this is a lot of ink. All right, we're clean. But yeah, look at these hands. It's a good thing my nails were bad anyway. I'd be really mad if I had ruined my nails on it too. My nails have taken quite a beating because I had to go in and fix a shelf in there. You know, again, still trying to fix stuff that the painters didn't do properly, and cleaning. The cleaning is the thing that's really taken a toll on my nails. All right. Now, let's see. Let me take this baby wipe. Let's see if we can get rid of some of this splotch. We're just spreading it around. I'll have to cover that up with some image because that's totally unacceptable. All right, there we go. Now, I can take my scissors. Oh, you are full-time. Oh, you sold your house in Virginia, Marty? Wow. That's pretty big. Well, good for you. I'm happy for you. Bet you're really liking living in Florida. We're all really happy that Florida exists. You're part of the vanguard keeping our freedoms going. There aren't enough of you. All right, now just cutting these out. It is really like an old sweater. I have a sweater that's almost like this, and I love that sweater. It's really a soft one, soft, fuzzy sweater. And so it is the end of September. Normally in my old state of Washington, we would be feeling some a lot cooler nights than we do here, and it would be feeling more like fall. It does not feel like fall at all to me here. It feels still more completely summer. I'm gonna take this really crummy one, I think, and oh wait, let me make sure that's dry. I don't want it to ruin my folder. And I'm gonna do it in the cable knit. Do you guys have the cable knit in dynamic embossing folder? Because this is really a nice one. You just wanna make sure that the lines are gonna be going in the same direction as your knit lines from the stamp that we just did. Okay, I'm gonna put that back in there that way where it won't stick so much. There we go. Put that one down. And let me bring over my stamp or emboss, cut and emboss tool. Now this is a dynamic folder, so I actually need, with this, these are pretty thick, so you're going to use this basic block and then a clear. Oops, my card came right out of there. Stick you in there again. I'm going to just lay it right down there. I know you're kind of close to the machine, but my arm is only able to do so much here. The camera arm, that is. All right, so we'll roll that through. Roll it back the other way. This is sold it before you put it on. Oh my goodness, Marty. That's great. I'm glad you're enjoying where you're living. We love it here too. Oh, looky, looky, looky. Ah, it embossed it the wrong way. I'm gonna have to, I thought I had it on the right way. No, this is the front. I had it wrong. Let me do it again because I don't want it going the wrong way. Ah, I didn't have that label on the cover, on the front, so I should have seen it was backwards. I've got them labeled front and back, so it confuses me. We have not moved into our house. That's why I'm still up and down, getting not starting on time, unable to find supplies, lost, frazzled, and what? I still am. No, it is right. All right, so can you see that? Oh, it's beautiful. But, so I was thinking when I made this, that how nice this embossing was, and thought, oh, I looked in there, I couldn't believe they don't have a knit. They do have Tasteful Textile. There is another one that's one of the skinny ones, and that one works just as good. It actually looks just like Tasteful Textile. So, There are lines to it too. It's kind of going up and down, so you want to make sure your lines are matching these lines. Now this is a thinner folder, so we'll get out the blue cover. This actually looks just, I think, almost as good as the cable knit. I was very happily surprised with it. Now you can't probably see so easily where you are, but it feels really good. It just feels, you know, gives that texture. It's not quite the same, but it's close. It's close enough. It's almost more like a rug than a sweater. But underneath things on your card, it feels really good. And it's just that mottled look of a sweater or a tweed. You could do it with gray and, you know, just memento black or smoky slate. And you could get a really nice tweed look, I think, with this. All right, we'll use this, but we'll have to cover up my splotch. All right, so we've got, these are the colors we're gonna go with. Let's do, I really liked my Brew Up Some Fun. Now what I wanna do with this one, the other thing I wanted to show you with your cable knit or anything that has a lot of raised area on it, grab out your, grab them here. Grab out your pastels. I haven't used these a lot, but a rug. Yes, Andy, looks like a rug. This one doesn't. This looks like a sweater, and it will all the more. And I'm gonna grab the pumpkin pie or terracotta, whatever orange this is called. If you just keep it flat. Now, again, this is the cable knit one that I did. We'll try it on this too, so you can see how you can do it on this. But this is gonna bring that right out. Doesn't that look nice? Wow. That just brings that cable knit right out. So now it's obviously a sweater. Ah, really nice. If there's another color that, like I didn't really have my purple in there good enough, I can kind of put some in here and there, or in the spots that I missed a little bit. Okay, there you go. You can make it as vintagey as you want. Just clean that off if you get some there. All right, now the one bad thing about it, once you've used the pastels, is you have a very powdery surface on there that when you, as you touch it, it's gonna wipe right off onto your fingers, and you won't see it on this hand because it's pretty messy, but you would on this one, at least these parts. So you can get a spray. I've got a fixative spray, and I was going to use it, but I didn't really need to. I used the pastels on this. And, you know, as long as you're not like smearing your hand all over it, it's actually just fine. I'm gonna gingerly move it. Now, we'll try this one. This one, again, I wanna add some more of this purple because I didn't really have enough of it. And there's this line here in the middle that didn't get inked up all that much. So we're gonna just add it in there. Okay. You can just rub it across too, like I did on the other, but I don't really want to add that much color in, so we are not going to do that. So that's one thing you can do. And then another nice thing about the pastels, you can get a little tissue or cotton ball, and you can kind of rub it, and it'll make a nice soft color too, you know. And you can kind of get some of the same effect as our baby wipe ink thing did with these pastels. You see? So that's just another thing that you could do, but I'm gonna pretty much leave it the way it was because I don't really, I kind of liked it better with when I can see the white in there as well, or actually it's vanilla. Okay, we are done playing with that. And actually, you know, for an experiment sort of thing, went really well. I wasted some ink. I didn't listen to Jewel's advice about folding up the baby wipe, and I regret that. Used a whole bunch of ink unnecessarily, but thankfully it was ink in general. I didn't use up any extra really of my pumpkin pie, and I'm probably not going to ever use that Wisteria Wonder. And my Mossy Meadow, I've got at least 2 pads of this stuff, because my Mossy Meadow pads in general have not been very nice. Let's take a little peek. This is my newest one. Let's see what's happening to it, because each one I buy grows stuff. Yep, I can see there's a couple of little, it could be lint, but I suspect that it's not. Couple little bumpy spots, so I don't know what it is about Mossy Meadow, but it's gets little fungus bumps on it, and then it's a ruined pad. Another thing you can do, just in case you're still not satisfied with how that, take your pencils. Always got some pencils, and you could always add in a little bit of more purple, you know, here and there, if you wanted a little extra purple. So that is what you can do if the baby wipe technique didn't quite cover it well enough. But that actually looks really good. I'm happy with that. So let's get busy and finish out this card. Let's do this one first. This one, I am gonna just cut a 1 1/2 inch piece off this good side, and we will cut it at 5 1/2 right there. Okay, and for this remaining piece, I think what we'll do, we're gonna just tear it, because if it's gonna look like a sweater, now I don't want the vanilla part to show as a frayed edge so much, so I'm gonna tear it away so I'm not getting that vanilla-y white. I'm gonna tear off my little messy spot right there, get most of it. All right, let's try to tear this. We don't want it to be in a straight line. I'm having a little trouble getting it to tear exactly the way I want. Somebody in our apartment's got a really yippy yappy dog. I think there might be a couple of them, which is pretty funny. They've recently moved in, and sometimes if they come in late at night, that dog, it's pretty loud. Thankfully, Jeff and I don't care about such things. The dog can bark all at once too. I don't really care. If I was asleep, I would just turn my deaf ear up to the ceiling and put my good one down into the pillow, and I would be perfectly fine. All right, so let's do that, and then we'll cut a piece of Everlasting Evergreen. It's not Mossy Meadow, but it's going to work anyway. So 5 1/2, I could not find I don't think I bought any Everlasting Evergreen ink. When those colors came out, I wasn't confident that I would ever want any of the ink, so I didn't buy any ink, and I forgot that I didn't buy any ink. So when I went to do this today, I realized, I never bought any of that ink, did I? Now, I forgot, I do want to have a bit of this sweater underneath here. So which one? Do we want this one, or do we want the Calypso Coral? We're gonna have it on this, so maybe we better do Calypso Coral. I think that might work better. So let's cut a piece of Calypso Coral and run that through that cable knit embossing folder. If I can find it. Hopefully I didn't lose it. I kind of toss things aside sometimes when I'm working. Well, we'll get this out. I've got the textile one over here. I wonder what I did with the cable knit. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. I do see it right there. Okay, so the cable knit one we will use this plate and this plate. And since it doesn't matter which side, I can just throw it in there. Oop. There we go. All right, this looks so cool. I love this one. It's so cool. I hate it when they have really neat things and then they stop selling them, because I'm not going to stop using it just because they're not selling it. And I know it's frustrating though for other people who are not collectors like us. When they see I've got something really cool, they want to do it too, and then they can't because they don't have it and they aren't selling it anymore. Now this needs to be bigger than this one. So I'm going to just kind of lay it on there so that I can make sure I'm not getting it too small. All right. And then we'll just tear off. This one, since there's not, it's the same color on the bottom as the top, I can pull up. It's a little easier when you're tearing to pull up, but I wanted you to see what I was doing with that other one. And with this one, I couldn't tear up, or the vanilla would show underneath all along the edges, and it just doesn't look very good. So we're gonna put this here, we're gonna put this here, this on here like that. Just like, let's see, let's do it like this, and like this, sorta. Yeah, and then we'll get our tags out. Okay, let's glue. Very cute. Thank you for sharing, you guys. I appreciate it very much. I am really excited to get into our house because now this next week I have I'm doing a little class here in our apartment, not in our apartment, but at the clubhouse. And I'm really hoping that there's at least a couple of ladies from the apartment complex that will be interested in doing classes with me. That would be fun. I haven't done classes in a long time. I haven't got anything on my website in ages because there just wasn't really, you know, it just wasn't working out in Washington to do classes. I didn't have anyone hardly able to do them with me. And I don't know, I'm kind of rethinking the class thing anyway as far as how I'm doing it, because the ones that I was doing were really nice ones. They were fancy, and I just don't know that anybody wants to come to class to do a fancy card. It seemed, even for my experienced stampers, it seemed like they were stressed over getting things really good, and then half the time they weren't paying attention to my instructions, and then they would, you know, go ahead and do things ahead of me and get it wrong, and then be frustrated that it's not looking like mine. And so I don't know, doing complicated classes in person are not all that much easier. Actually, I think they're harder in person than online, because online the person can stop it and then go back, and I don't think there's the pressure to work quickly, and so because that's part of it, is people aren't listening because they are talking to other people while feeling pressure to rush. So that's part of it. And then the other factor is that there's always somebody willing to help you, but who might be helping you wrongly in the class, and so they're really not helping you. They think they are, but they're really not helping you. Let's see here. We'll put this on here, don't you think? I need just a little bit for this one. I think I just need a little bit more of that border. So I'm gonna sneak some adhesive on the back here. And then, you know, so, yeah, I don't know. Probably my instructions weren't clear enough when I have more people in class too. That might be part of it. I don't know. Anyway, I just know it ended up being more difficult for people than I expected it to be. All right. And it wasn't difficult at all for the people who just, you know, follow instructions and were happy to go at my pace. It really wasn't hard for them at all. They had no trouble. All right, so we'll do that and that little edge. There we go. That's a little bit better. It just cries out for some real yarn, don't you think? Something with some texture, just to add on to that, because it is all textury, but something with some more texture. I don't know if I want to put any more Calypso coral on it. Needs something though that's yarn-like. So a baker's twine is going to have to be a baker's twine. Let's see what I have. What is this? I see something. Green would be good. This is, I have no idea what this is from. This is the right color, but I didn't label it. Normally I put names on this. I have no idea what this one is from. All right, we'll get a fair amount out and double that up. Let's do it. Let's do it on the side here. Yeah, I think we'll just do that on the side. But anyway, with Christmas coming up, boy, it'd be nice to have some Christmas stuff going, huh? Christmas class will be fun. I'm really looking forward to having, I went down to Hobby Lobby today and I looked at their Christmas trees, their fake ones. I cannot believe I didn't bring our Christmas tree because I really wanted a new one from a long time ago, but man, you know what? The Christmas trees they have down there, they're just not, not like a real one, that's for sure. Boy, either one of these edges is pretty nice. I'm having a hard time deciding which edge I want to take off. Let's take this one off. And this side off. And this one we will put on this. Oh, I don't know, that's pretty bright. I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna just stick with our Calypso coral. Well, let's try this just to see what do you think? It's not bad. Hard to decide. Either one looks pretty good. But because it's textured, make sure you use good glue. It's not gonna stick very good if you're not using this kind of adhesive. Either your, really good tape or this kind of glue. My contraband glue I do not do on stuff that is embossed or has any texture to it at all. It just doesn't work. That stuff needs a really straight, smooth surface. All right, very good. I don't even think I need this underneath. I did kind of want a double matte, but I'm afraid that I'm gonna just totally lose the effect of my Calypso coral if I put that on there. Not too bad though. Maybe I'll do it. I'm just not using all of that green. I guess I'm not as big a green fan as I thought. What about you? Do you like that Everlasting Evergreen? Andy, I know you really like it. You said it was probably one of your favorite ones of what came out. It is pretty. If I had actually used Everlasting Evergreen here, I probably would have preferred it too. Oh, you're not putting up a tree? Jewel, you know what? After looking at those trees, I don't know, I was just thinking, well, I know the real trees are gonna be really expensive, so every year that I think, I didn't put up a tree last year either, and I did not miss it. But in our new house, I'm gonna wanna put it up because for one thing, we're gonna have room to put it up. It's gonna be the first time we're really gonna have room to put up a Christmas tree. And so I'm gonna want to put one up. So I thought I could just buy a Christmas tree, a real one. But that's easy to say now, because then when I go down to actually do it, I'm gonna choke on the price. And I'm gonna think, you idiot, you're not gonna spend that much for a tree you're gonna throw away in 1 month. And I'm just not gonna wanna do it. I think that's one reason I don't have a tree now, is I decided, okay, this year, I think this was about 3 years ago, I decided, you're tired of this fake tree, it was a nice one, but we're getting rid of it, and then you won't even be tempted to put it up. But then I choked at the cost of the real ones, so I never bought one at all, and that's just typical. All right, tailor-made tags. This is what we're gonna do. Tailor-made tag. That's what we need for this one. We're just gonna use the little guy. Just this little guy, not the littlest little guy, but that one and this one, and maybe the circle. Okay, and then this one we want to use our everlasting evergreen with. This one will have to be our very vanilla. There you are. I knew I had a scrap of you somewhere. We'll stamp you before we do that. And then we'll want a tiny bit of our Calypso coral. I have a scrap of that there for the circles. Okay, I'm gonna go do this one really quickly over here in the corner. I'm not gonna haul it all over this time. This is just gonna be fast. I don't have to be very careful with this one. All right, I really like that tag. It's really cute. These little tailor-made tags. All right, so let's see, what sentiment do we want to do? I'm going to do for this one of these. Again, sweater weather, right? Because I don't want to put a big image. I'm not going to have a big image on there. So, I'm going to use the cup. I actually want to use this too. So let's stamp the circle one while I'm thinking what kind of sentiment do I want to put on here. Okay, Evening Evergreen. I keep saying the name of this wrong. It's Evening Evergreen. You're my cup of tea. Isn't that cute? Let's see. I better keep that out because I probably want to stamp with that color on whatever sentiment I'm going to use. Ooh, my pad's really juicy. Wait until they mark them down. You know what? I did do that, Jewel, and then I looked and I didn't like any of the ones I saw. Now, when I took this little, you know, when I undid, I saved the center part because it actually fits perfect inside here. And you're going to want to use a stamp off method to do this. But, and I actually better use my Calypso coral. I probably don't want to stamp Evening Evergreen in the center, but you can, if you stamp off 3 times, we can kind of get a nice little colored effect in the middle there with that little circle dot. You know, and I actually went out of the circle a little bit, which I didn't mean to, but you never know when a little circle thing like that might come in handy. And since it's a perfect circle, it's not going to take up any space in your case, so just save it. You know, you never know. It might come in handy. All right, now none of these, it's your birthday. I could do that, I suppose. I don't really want to, though. I think I'll use this one, a little something for a great person, or no, friends like you make life a joy. Now I'll use a little something for a great person, because the friends like you, I cannot use so much with somebody that I don't know all that well. With a little something for a great person, yeah, I could probably use that for anybody, even if I don't know that they're a great person. Let's just be positive and assume that they are. All right, there we go. And I was in the hardware store and saw something pretty surprising, something I've never seen before. And not in the hardware store anyway. I have seen it, I suppose, elsewhere if I put my mind to it. But there was, I heard these two guys' voices. Now this, I believe I have a circle punch for this. Let's peek. This is a 1.5. I think that will punch that out quite nicely. The clerk was a guy. I heard these two guys talking to him, and I was going up to buy my stuff to fix my shelves. And lo and behold, one of those guys who looked very much like a guy, except for his curly, long hair, blonde wig, had a very floral print dress on, and he was standing there with his hands gesticulating like a guy, you know. I was, you know, you're standing there thinking, where's the this must be a Monty Python skit or something. And we're all standing there looking like this is all normal. It was nuts, just absolutely nuts. I decided I'm never going back to that one again. It was very amusing, I have to admit, but I don't really want to be amused that way. All right, so now I'm going to take my little circle here and match it right up. We're just, I know it doesn't match. I know you're going to want to do this, and you could, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to glue this together right there. And, oh, I should have cut out my little circles while I was over there, and I didn't. You know, the little circle kind of makes this. So I'm going to take this and make my little circles. Cuts out 4. You know, that's great. I don't need 4, but I'll just take them. It's going to cut out 4. I only need 1. You could do like a whole bunch, I suppose. There we go. We'll put our little tags back. And you could stack them up and layer them, and that would be fine, but I don't really want to do that. So I can see that if I started saving those, I would have tons and tons of those. They would make a nice little reinforcer if you were doing photo albums or something. All right, there we go. So there's your little tag. We're gonna just stick it right there with some dimensionals, if I can find them. There they are. I'm gonna use up some of the edges here. All right. The clerk then, when I got up there, he just had this amused look on his face. Of course, nobody can say anything, even though we're all, you know. Oh, look at that. I got some of my pastel That's one thing you do have to be careful of. Don't work right on your sweater if you've got pastels on it, because it'll rub off on there. Anyhow, let's take you and stick you right here, as though that is there. And then we're gonna take this, stick this right here. So I said, how's your day going? Oh, it's going okay. I said, well, it must be going better now that you're waiting on me, because I'm thinking, you know, the thing is that when you're asked to do silly things, your brain just cannot function normal. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And you're not allowed to comment on anything. You're not able to observe normal human behavior or abnormal human behavior. You know, we're just all beginning to be very fatigued with having to live this fantasy life for the less than 0.3%. But anyway. All right, now we are going to do, our cups. Got to do our cups. So I'm going to get my little vanilla out. And we've got our little brew some fun. These little cups are cute. You're going to really like those. And I could use my evergreen, my evening evergreen. It's pretty dark, but I'm gonna get out the black. And just 1, 2, 3. Now, one of our little coffee sets had, in my little cup, I needed to put that in that center. I kind of forgot about that. Let's do that really quick here. I don't know if it'll work. I've got it on my card now. I don't know if I can actually do it. We'll try. Whew, got it on there. You do not want to stamp after you put stuff on the card, but you know, the brain sometimes isn't functioning right, so you just do what you have to. That cup, though, is really cute. Simply chamois, very, very wet in there. I'll dump you down there where you're not going to ruin my table. All right. So that made him laugh, of course, so that was good. Yeah, anything to lighten the tension. Sheesh. There shouldn't be so much tension. There didn't used to be. There didn't used to be so much tension out there. It was a sweeter world not long ago. All right, now we need to have some, let's see, Calypso Coral. There you are. So we're gonna do stripe, 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 stripe. Okay. So even here in my little Springfield, there are some oddities, of course. There are everywhere, aren't there? Actually pretty amusing for the most part. I think there was some kind of a facility in the same parking lot as this hardware store that I happen to be at, and it's not one I've ever gone to. Like I said, I decided, I guess I'm just not gonna go back to that one again. I think whatever is in the next door building has some interesting characters in there for whatever reason. So I'll just avoid it. Oh man, that one I cannot. This is my soft succulent, and that one just does not want to open very well. I don't think I have a evening evergreen blending pen. Is there one? I don't think there is. It would be super dark. I don't think I'd hardly ever use it anyway. Even these soft succulent ones, this dark one is pretty dark. Today Jeff is getting to substitute in social studies with middle school kids. I bet he's gonna have fun with that. This is a school he hasn't been at either, so it's always interesting to him. They've almost all of them been really good. He did sub at one really rough high school one that he's not going to be going back to. It was interesting to hear such a difference in discipline, and that's really what happens when you don't discipline. Everything goes kaput. So it's sad. And the teachers do what they can, but for the most part, the teachers aren't very good either, because the good ones leave and go somewhere else where they can teach and where they're going to be supported if something happens. All right, so we'll get our Calypso coral. I just wanted a little bit of pink in there, but I don't know that I really like that pink. So I am covering it with Calypso coral. And it just turns it kind of more into our terracotta when you do that. I just didn't care for it, what I was getting there. And unfortunately, that soft succulent I don't like as well as evening evergreen either, but I don't have any evening evergreen, so we're gonna make do with you. These, of course, do not have your dyes, so there's that fussy cutting back, which is really a nuisance when you've been having the luxury of. Maybe I'm gonna put just one cup on here, just because then I don't have to take a whole lot of time while you're watching, doing all those cups. Okay, so there we go. And you could do this for like a nice little gift card, or just a nice note, and put a gift certificate for their favorite coffee place. All right. Our coffee guy has gone on. He decided the coffee place is still there, but now we have a new guy all the time serving us, which is fine, or girl. They're really good, so it's not like it's a problem. No, I see it. There it is, evening evergreen. I do have evening evergreen. I thought I did. Huh. Actually, probably would have liked to have had that here. Let's do that. Oh, I went out of the lines. Okay, now I'm sort of ruining it. Let's do this, and then I can cover that one up because I ruined that. It's hard to color when it's a moving object. The kid, Jeff, came back and said, well, whatever his name is, I forget what his name is now, he is not going to be there anymore. He said he was sorry, but he's leaving. Like, well, that's good. He's probably going on to something better, and that's probably good for him. Yeah. It's kind of cute that he thought he was leaving us. We're probably one of the few that, I don't know. People here are very friendly when they're your neighbors or you're in church with them or whatever, but just out on the street, in general, they're just so-so. It's a pretty mixed bag. Some of them are very friendly, but pretty good a number of them don't go out of their way. Now, if you smile and make a big deal about it, they're fine. Most people aren't going to look at you like you're nuts and frown and move on. Most. But there are some that almost do, and which is, probably the same number that you find in any city. But it really depends on the place and the time. Like at the baseball game, they're all friends, everybody's your pal. In the grocery store, they tend to be pretty friendly. It's just some places they're not so much. Okay, there we go. Cute. And, I did really like having a cup here and a cup there, but I'm just not going to do all of that. All right, so I am going to try quickly to do something for this, and then we will be done for the day because I don't want to take forever. What kind of paper have I got here? Let's grab a piece of white, and we will just do this. This one is my favorite one on this set. This Joyful Life is fun, fun, fun. You're gonna like that one. So don't miss it. It's the rabbit. Isn't he cute? It's the rabbit. You just look so much like friends that you know or would like to know. I'm going to stamp here and put that away. Let's do the sentiment on this, and then we're going to just cut it out fairly large, and then I won't have to be fussy cutting. I don't want to fussy cut anymore today. All right, so what have we got? Friends like you make life a joy. That's the one that goes with this one. It's just perfect. Okay, so we'll put that there. We'll get our melon mambo out. I really like melon mambo. Oh, the trouble is, I didn't stamp it on there quite straight, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work, because I kind of had to do it that way, and the wheels weren't straight, and yeah, I'm not sure that's gonna work out, but we'll just give it a go. All right, and yeah, you know, that guy in the hardware store, he was like probably a 58, 65-year-old guy. It wasn't like he was young, and reminded me of those Ed Wood movies, and I just thought, if this is why we need to have reality still functioning, folks, is because when people don't know what's funny and what's not anymore. Totally lose their sense of humor. All right. Let's get, that was 30 Flamingo, because I don't want this to be too terribly dark, but I want the pink to kind of go with that. So we'll do Flirty Flamingo. And if we wanted to, we could put in, where's that Calypso Coral? There you are. Little bit of Calypso Coral. Just to kind of match our little sweater. It's kind of cute. Right? And we'll do some cinnamon cider for our little bear. This is the light one. Let's see how dark the dark's gonna be. It's pretty dark, but we're gonna do it anyway. We can always fix, it's kind of orangey looking. Oh, sounds like my laundry is done. It's another thing that'll be nice, that you guys won't have to hear my laundry going in the background once we're moved. I'll have my own little craft room. It's gonna be nice. This is very orangey, isn't it? I don't know if I like having it. We'll call him a red bear. Is there such a thing as a red bear? I don't think so. I think it's a brown bear or a black bear. I don't think there's a red bear. And his face cannot be that color. That would be way too dark. So we'll have to get out. Let's try bronze. I think bronze is going to be pretty dark too. Yeah, way too dark. Let's get ivory. Ivory's going to be way too light. But we'll start with ivory and see what happens. We'll just color it over a bit. That's not too bad. We're gonna leave our bunny white, I think, and we'll put him in a pink basket. And we'll use cinnamon, no, we'll not use cinnamon cider. Let's use our, where did my Calypso coral go? I think that's what you are. We will use this. Thank you, Marty. All right, so we'll put this on the bike. Yeah, these, oops, I forgot the bear's hands. We do need his hands to be colored. There we go. These petals. It is going to be nice to be back out on the bike. I haven't been able to, well, I shouldn't say I haven't been able to. I've been able to ride my bike. I just haven't ridden it really since. I did it the first month we were here, and then I gave it up because I just couldn't go far enough to make it really all that much fun for me. And we'll be in an area where I'll have a path to the park really close to the house. We checked that out. It's going to be really nice. But until I move, we're kind of just stuck. All right, now let's see. Let's try some of our stitched shapes. I don't know if it's going to be big enough. That'll cut off his head. That won't work either. Stitched shapes, you just aren't big enough. That's probably one reason that they retired stitched shapes. These are our seasonal label dies. It's a Christmas one. It's pretty big. I think I can get that one to work. So that's what we'll do. I probably already did these, the Joyful Life stamp set. I would be surprised if I hadn't, because it is one of my favorite ones. It's pretty cute. There's room for something there too. But anyway, with the card that I made already that's similar to this, what I did is I took the magenta, and then with our, I think it was Many Mates or something like that, just stamped all over it, because I have a friend that's just retired that I'm sending that to. And I thought this was the perfect image to show the joy of retirement. It really is sweet. It is very nice to be retired. Jeff is really enjoying it, even though he's still going to work every day for me, because otherwise he doesn't have any hobbies. He just sits around the house driving me nuts and getting mad, you know, because I'm not paying attention to him every single second of the day. I get nothing done. I was eating all the time. And I am much happier when he's not home all day long. I mean, I wish that weren't the case, but that just is the truth. And he, it took him a while to recognize that, but he figured it out. So he's happier to go to work. It's a pretty fun gig for him generally. He did my para-educator job one day, and every time he talks about it, it's with, well, it'd be easier, I think, most of the time, because you'd know your schedule and all. I'm not correcting him by telling him, no, actually the job isn't almost at all any easier than it is that first day. You run solid the whole day trying to keep up. And if you work in a school that's a good school, the principal will schedule you such that you literally aren't running from assignment to assignment with never a break to use the bathroom. However, I've worked for principals who were not very good, and you know, we worked harder than any of the teachers in the building. We got paid less, so there you go. It was nice to hear some affirmation that my perception of that was actually accurate, and he's never going to sub there again, because he gets paid almost the same subbing for a para as for a teacher here in this state. It's kind of funny. And then it's not as good a job. All right, very cute. I am not going to take time to put it on a card base. That's just going to be beyond what I can manage today. Oh man, that's pretty bright. I hope you can see it. I didn't realize, did Did I adjust my lights or what? What happened? Something happened. Something happened. It just looks suddenly really, really bright. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to try to flip the camera up and we'll see if it's going to work. Good. It did not go caterwonky like it usually does. Thank you for watching with me, ladies, and joining me again today. Again, next week I won't be here. I will be, it's probably going to be 2 weeks before I get back again. And just pray that my little class that I do at our apartment next Monday goes well. And again, if you haven't finished getting everything you want for celebration, don't miss out. And holidays are coming up, so you want to get all of your Christmas stuff ready to make and get it all done and out of the way. My friend Freddie's getting hers all done. She's been working hard. I think she's got something on there I haven't even seen yet today. I'll have to get over there and take a look and see what she's been up to. Thanks again, you guys. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.